Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory that's definitely due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakak Radash. I'm from the Prophets in Babylon out of the Waco, Texas camp, affiliated with the branch of Prophets in Babylon, Tampa Bay, Florida. I'm your brother Atiyat. I'd like to give a special double honors to the elders and apostles on down at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. May the blessing of election be upon your household, on you sincere brothers and you few sisters out there that listen and take heed. Lesson for today: Israelite men do not hate women. And Lord willing, I hope and pray that this will be edifying. So I was inspired to do this video because I saw a topic by the elder Montezakbach, where this woman has accused Israelite men of hating women. And they could be so far from the truth, because at the end of the day, we love women. We have some brothers who are single that want a woman, would like to have a woman, would like to have a woman as a wife. You have some brothers that's in this thing of ours that have multiple wives. There's nothing wrong with that neither. King Solomon, he had 700 wives, 300 concubines. So, and he was a man of the Lord, his father, King David, he had multiple wives. So, and we know that, that King David was a favorite of our Heavenly Father, Yahweh. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, which means he is or he exists. And then you have the Son's name, which is Yahushai, which means he that delivers. So, there's nothing wrong with a man having multiple women. It's just being in this wicked society. It teaches you to be with one woman, and that's basically going off. You even have an Israelite camp who teaches that you're supposed to be with one woman, but at the end of the day, that's not biblical. That's not biblical. The scriptures say, prove all things, and we can surely prove that the men of the Lord, there were some men who had multiple wives, and that's not going off. But getting to the point, we do not hate women. In fact, we love women when they're in their right mind. And a lot of you women are not in your right mind. You don't regard your man as being the head. You don't want to submit to a man. So, those are the type of traits that, we as Israelite men, we hate, because the Lord said that we, to hate what is evil, and that is evil. And that's going contrary to what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai said. He expected that a woman be up under a man, because her husband is her covering, just like Yahushai is our covering. Matter of fact, let me get that. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach. See, we even have a head, and that's Yahushua Hamashiach. And the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is Yahweh. Yeah, so even the son has a head. So we all have a order, that we should follow up under. First Corinthians chapter 14 and 40. Let all things be done decently and in order. Yeah. So this is the order that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai put out there. But see, when you have a wicked ruler like Esau that tells you that a woman can rule over a man, which, that, and they know when a man, when a woman is ruling over a man, that it doesn't go right. They know it, but they do that to go contrary to what, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai set out, and also it brings confusion between the man and the woman, man. So when you don't want to be submit to a man, you don't want to be told what to do, you don't want to be ruled over by a man. And see, they look at when you say ruled over by a man, that's wicked, But Esau made it that way. He turned it. He turned something righteous and tried to make it into something wicked. First Peter chapter 3, verse 6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, and as long as ye do well and are not afraid with any amazement. Yeah, see, Sarah, she called her husband Abraham Lord. How many of you women out there that want to be in that mindset to be like that up under your husband? It's great. Many of you don't, because you want to rule over a man. Verse 7, likewise, you husbands dwell, verse 7, likewise, ye husbands dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife. Yeah, see, we as husbands that's over you wives, we have to give honor to you. As unto the weaker vessel. And you as a woman are the weaker vessel. When it comes to a man and a woman, the woman is the weaker vessel. At the same time, that doesn't take nothing away from a woman, because that woman does have value, just as the man has value. But their values are different. A man can't have a baby. Then he can give you the seed for you to, for you to be impregnated. But that's your job. The Lord gave each man, each one of us a job, and that is your job to carry that baby for 9 months, and to see you go against that, then you're going against the Heavenly Father and the Son, man. You got problems with that, then you got a problem with how the Heavenly Father and the Son set that up. And as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So if you don't want your prayers to be hindered, then you live this way. You honor your wife, and that woman understands that the man is over her. Because we go through all this that we go through, we know, being the Israelites, that we're the most hated people on the planet. Do you not want the Lord and the Son to hear your prayers? And you have a order how your prayers can be heard by you doing these simple things that we just read about, that the husband honors his wife, and you wives obey your husbands. A man deals with her according to knowledge, and the husband recognizes that she's the weaker vessel, so she has to be guided. A lot of you women out there, you don't want to be guided, and this is why you have a lot of these women who are want to be baby mamas from different men because you decided that this system would be your choice of how you maneuver instead of the ways of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. And so the most part, a man don't want to deal with a woman that's, like that. Now I mean, hey, look, man, you got situations. Ain't nobody clean, but at the end of the day, as as we go on, we have to understand these things. Here we're learning, we're growing, and the idea that we hate women, no, we hate the things that they do, you know, and some of you women just ain't right. So really, those women, that's who we calling out. There are some women here that are good women. So they're and they're in their right mind. They understand that, hey, the way of life that we've been taught goes against the Heavenly Father and the Son. So they're working, as the scriptures say, work out your own salvations with fear and trembling, and that's they're doing that. They understand that. But a lot of you women, you don't, and you don't want to because you love this system so much. It's like Stockholm syndrome. You love this captivity. You love the idea of having multiple baby daddies, and this is securing your bag. The more, it's like this woman I was looking at a video a brother put up yesterday. A lot of you women, you have babies by all these different men just to stack your income. And back in the day, a lot of that's what was going on. You look back from the 60s on up. Back in the day in the 60s, they told you, you can be on, Section 8, what have you, but you can't have that man in the household. You can't have a man in the household. So on and so on. So a lot of you women have went along with the system, and you doing the things that this serpent, the devil, tells you, and not what Yahweh Shem Shai said. We have an order. We're the Israelites, us, you so-called Negroes, you so-called Latinos, you so-called Indians. You're all the children of Yahweh Shem Shai. We're the light of the world. We're supposed to be the light of the world because we're what makes us stand out. We were given laws to walk up under. These others to live by, Salakia. And these other nations out here, they don't have no laws. They weren't given to them. They were given to the Israelites. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Hamashiach also loved the church and gave himself for it. Yeah. So we as men are to love our wives. You brothers who have wives or what have you, you're supposed to love your wife, But like I say, we're in this wicked society that we're living in, and a great majority of these women, they're not right, you know. Colossians 3:19. Husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them. Yeah. Therefore shall a man leave his Slakia. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 24. Therefore shall a man save his shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Yeah. So when you and your wife become together, get together, you become as one, you know. Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed is undefiled, but the whoremongers and the adulterers, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai will judge. Yeah. So it is honorable. Marriage is an honorable thing for a man and a woman to dwell together. That's an honorable thing in the sight of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, man. You know, and see another thing we have too, a lot of these women depart from their husbands, you know. First Corinthians chapters 7 and 10, and unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord Yahweh Hashem Shai, let not the wife depart from her husband. Yeah, so the woman is not supposed to leave her husband. These women, they're quick to leave their husbands. We got brothers who's in this truth and knowledge went out and, you know, there have been many stories brothers can tell you where brothers have went out and went to go do the work and come back and they wife done left, you know. She don't want to be with him no more. So, you know, these things go against the order of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Once a woman is with that man, that woman is supposed to stick with that man, you know. But these women, you know, being in this wicked society we live in, divorce is quite common, you know. It's a common thing. Ephesians 5 and 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands and unto the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So you wives should submit, and a great majority of you women out there, you don't want to submit. You want to rule over your husband, you know, and you're going against the order of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. And a lot of these churches, they don't teach these things of how a woman should be because most of their members are women. So basically what they're doing, they're just tickling their ears. We as Israelite men, we you know, the scriptures say, I have not shunned to show you, you know, all things. So we have to be in the spirit of Apostle Paul that, you know, we you know, show all things. We, you know, we have not shunned, you know, we have not shunned showing you all of the gospel, you know. So there's things that apply to the husband as well as the things that apply to a wife, you know. And just in everything in general, but in Pacific, the title that we're talking about is wives, you know. Proverbs chapter 31 and 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above others. Oh, far above rubies. Yeah. So, you know, we love women when they're in their right mind. A lot of you women, you're just not in your right mind, and we call it out. And a lot of you get offended because it probably most likely applies to you, you know, that you need to get your act together, you know, because we're coming into a time where a lot of you women are going to need a man. And we're really coming into that time right now. The time is now. A lot of you women should be seeking a man of the Lord, you know, but you got to get your mindset set right, you know, be ready to be submit up under a man, you know. But a lot of you won't do that, and that's going to signal your downfall. So, Lord willing, I hope and pray that this was an edifying lesson. Once again, I want to give all praises and honor and glory that's definitely due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Radash. Special double honors to the elders and apostles on down at Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. And Lord willing, I'll come back with another lesson, Lord willing. Until the meantime, I say shalom.